Welcome to my Horrorween special where I'm going to be talking about some of the best must-see horror movies and TV shows to watch during the month of October. And today we're going to be talking about Midnight Mass, directed by Mike Flanagan. And in this show, we follow a small community that are living in an isolated island, and a new mysterious priest arrives, taking over the mantle of their previous priest. And there's a lot to spoil on this show, so that's going to be a very brief synopsis for you. But don't worry, I do not do spoilers on this channel. Let me just start off by saying I'm a huge Mike Flanagan fan. Anytime he does anything, I get super excited. So much so that during this show, I even paused it to Google to see what Mike Flanagan's next project is going to be. I love Dr. Sleep, Hush, Gerald's Game, and of course, Haunting of Hill House, which in my opinion is the best horror supernatural TV show ever made. This show did affect me very personally, and I'm going to tell you why a little bit later on in this video. But for now, does this show live up to the hype that is Mike Flanagan? I'm going to tell you right now, starting with the pros. Midnight Mass does a fantastic job of showing internal conflict, and that's really where the series shines. It has a lot to say about belief, faith, and even miracles and how we would react to them, and that's just not something we get today. It's also very different. We haven't seen anything like this ever, and it's very refreshing to see how unpredictable this show can truly be. It also asks you to be very patient, and if you are patient, it promises you a wild, crazy last few episodes, and it totally delivers on that promise. The performances all across the board, and I mean all across the freaking board, are top notch. Everybody does a phenomenal job in this show. And there's one scene in particular between two characters that really try to avoid each other, and when they come together, it's a very dialogue heavy scene, but it's so powerful. It totally just sucked me in. If the Emmys gave an award for just one scene and how good it is, this would win it. I promise you that. It is phenomenal. I didn't even know how to feel about it after I watched it. It was so powerful. I didn't know who to feel sympathy for or what I should feel. That is what I want to see in a show like this. It was so well done. But is this show scary? I think it's very eerie, and I felt very uncomfortable a lot of the times watching it, and it felt very real. I can't really explain how, but I think the show just did such a good job of putting me in that world that it felt very realistic to me, and that was well done. Again, Mike Flanagan brings it home with the scares. And now moving on to the cons, I like slow burns. Some of my favorite movies and TV shows are slow burns, but this show does have a little bit of a pacing issue. I really wish that the last few episodes sprinkled some of that excitement onto the previous 2 to 3 episodes. It would have really helped with the pacing issue this show somewhat has. Midnight Mass is very heavy on the dialogue. It feels sometimes like it's straight up like 25-30 minutes of just pure dialogue. And it really bogged down the show a little bit. I think they could cut back a little from it, and it would have just been fine. With that out of the way, I'm going to get a little personal, and I normally wouldn't do this on my channel, but listen, I'm a Muslim, and there's a Muslim character in this show, and you're telling me he's not a terrorist, not a bad guy, he sticks to his religion, and he's a good guy, and he borderline saves the day and is really one of the heroes of the show? That's completely unheard of these days, and I really appreciated that. There are 2 scenes, and one of them in particular, he sits and he explains how Muslims love Jesus, and he just goes on this long rant and how important Jesus is to us as well. And that's something I've been wanting to say to people for years. I wish I could say that to millions of people, but Mike Flanagan did it. And there's another scene where he talks about how the NYPD would ask him to spy on mosques. And that's a very real thing. That actually happens. And the fact that Mike Flanagan gave that to us, I just want to thank you. Thank you, Mike Flanagan, for giving us a real Muslim character that feels like us. And my hat's off to you guys. That really meant the world. Overall, this show is really good, and I wanted to let this show marinate with me because recency bias is a real thing. With that being said, I'm going to give Midnight Mass an A-. Now I want to know what you guys think. How did you guys feel about Midnight Mass? Let me know in the comment section down below. I'm going to be doing a lot more of my Horrorween special, so stay tuned for that. Make sure to smash the crap out of that like, subscribe, and notification button if you want to see more movie reviews. Have your tickets ready. I'll see you guys at the next movie.